Satnam. Welcome, you beautiful beings. I hope that you are keeping up and thriving in the craziness. So today's meditation class is a combination of Kundalini yoga, and then we're going to do, I call it a beingness meditation. And so it sounds a little bit like a guided meditation, but it's more of a pointing out and sinking into the truth of our being. So this oneness, because when we start Kundalini yoga, or any spiritual practice, it does actually strengthen our ego, but it's really easy to feel like I'm a broken person and I need to fix myself. And so I know not all of you are coming from that place, but I'm anxious and I want to be confident. I'm angry and I want to be peaceful. I'm stuck in scarcity patterns and struggle, work hard, survive patterns, and I want to move into grace, ease, and flow. And so just slightly shifting, rather than I'm broken and I want to be this at some point in the future, recognizing that we already are that. Underneath all the chaos and the noise is this deep stillness, and that our innate being is this deepest peace and unconditional happiness that doesn't depend on anything. It's always there, just like the blue sky is always there. So I'll talk through each meditation as we move through. These classes, I want to bring people off their yoga mat and to start meditating throughout the day as well, because I know when people first start, we can come into these deep states of bliss when we're on our yoga mat doing our practice in the morning, and then that lasts for a few hours, and then the day takes over and we get caught in this busyness again. So you can do this any time of the day. It would be a nice one to do in the evening as well, just to let go of the day. And if you're someone that is waking up exhausted, most of the sessions I do are going to be really good for that, just so that you can have proper, deep, nourishing sleep. So if you are sat in a chair, please make sure it's not a swivel one, because we're going to be doing some spinal exercises. And the reason that we're doing this, so years ago I started going to non-duality retreats. So there'll be an enlightened teacher and they have a satsang where everyone sits and you listen to the teacher. And most of the questions, or a large majority of them, were people saying that they understand this oneness, this unity consciousness, but they can't feel it. And so when we do practices that help us to feel safe and clear out the noise in the subconscious, in our nervous system and in the energy body, it's impossible not to feel this presence. The silence is really loud, and this heart-filled aware presence gets really loud. It soaks your bones and there's no denying it. And so in these sessions, that's why we're starting with some Kundalini first. So we'll do breath, something to move the spine, because that's going to help the nervous system and everything relax. Maybe some mantra, because I've found that that's one of the most powerful ways to come into these deeper states of peace. And so if we're like everything vibrates at a certain harmony, and we're either in harmony with the universe, or we're in disharmony, and we can feel that because things don't go our way and we get stuck and nothing seems to be working out. And so that would be, if we were radio, that would be 101 FM. I'm anxious, I'm angry, my back hurts. And so then 108 FM is I'm in grace, ease and flow. Everything's just working out for me. Things are arriving in such a miraculous and magical way. It can't be possible. And just feeling more relaxed and more peaceful. So we begin each class with 2 mantras just to open the space and to help bow our naughty little monkey minds to our deep inner wisdom. So making sure that your spine is straight. If you're sat on a yoga mat or a chair and your spine isn't straight, just put some cushions. You can sit on them or have them behind you. So allowing the breath to deepen and lengthen. Letting your awareness drop down to your navel point, just below the belly button. So you're inhaling into the belly, exhaling, belly comes back and up gently to the spine. Just roll the shoulders forwards, up and back, lifting up from the crown of the head. Eyes are closed, we're focused at the brow point. And hands to prayer pose. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale to begin. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Agare name, Jugagare name, Sagare name, Sri Gurudev name. Agare name, Jugagare name, Sagare name, Sri Gurudev name. Agare name, Jugagare name, Sagare name, Sri Gurudev name. Inhale deeply. And exhale, relax the breath, relax the hands down. The first meditation we're going to do is called SITALI PRANAYAM. Please, if you have anyone in your life who has PMT or PMS, inflammation, inner anger, perimenopause, they are raging, please give this to them. They can do it in 3 minutes. You can set a timer on your phone, or you can just do 26 breaths. And if this isn't a specific meditation for anxiety, but if you do have anxiety, it's really wonderful for just clearing out all those busy thoughts that you definitely don't need. It's going to be worrying about something that hasn't even happened yet. It also has great powers for detoxification. So you might notice a metallic taste on your tongue. So that's just a sign that you're letting go of toxins, and eventually it will become sweet. And it's also wonderful for just adding stability and clarity and calmness. So you're going to have your hands in Gya Mudra. If you're sat on a mat, they're going to be resting on your knees. Index fingertip touching the thumb tip. If you're sat on a chair, just have them resting in your lap. So lifting up from the crown of the head, so your spine is aligned. And if you are a busy overthinker, you might be leaning forwards. So just bring your attention, and we did this at the beginning of the class, bring your awareness in and then down the spine and down to the navel point. So when we're inhaling, the belly expands. Now, if you can't curl your tongue, you're just going to stick it out and inhale over the tongue, close the mouth, exhale through the nose. If you can curl the sides of the tongue together, please do. So it looks like this. So inhaling long, slow and deep. Your eyes are going to be closed, focused at the third eye. And then close the mouth and exhale through the nose. And as you're exhaling, notice this, that complete relaxation. So inhaling through the tongue. Close the mouth, exhale through the nose. Very good. So keep that going. And just scanning the body, making sure everything is relaxed, that you're not holding. If you're leaning forwards, you might want to lean. It might feel like you're leaning back, but it's center. Being aware with every breath, you're coming into a deeper state of completely resting. Last breath, inhale deeply, hold the breath peacefully. And exhale and relax. And just letting the breath return to normal. Inhale deeply and exhale and relax. So let's do some spinal warm-ups now. The first one is wonderful for the spine, but also for the blood. We need to have a conversation about blood. It's very important for the obvious reasons, but for things with like anxiety and having aches and pains everywhere, feeling like everything hurts. And I've been finding patterns as well with ADHD. So we'll have a conversation about that another day. But for the time being, just have your hands resting on your thighs. So you're going to inhale, hold the breath, and then you're going to arch the spine forward, shoulders back, lifting up the diaphragm, and then engaging the navel, keeping the hold of the breath, and curving the spine in the opposite direction, and the shoulders are coming forwards. So when you're going for as long as you can, and when you need to exhale, come back to center and exhale. So we're working up to holding it for a minute, but you might need a few weeks to practice that. So inhaling, holding the breath, and flexing the spine forwards and backwards. And if this one brings up a lot of anxiety for you, if you're new, don't hold it for as long as you can. Just hold it for a few flexes and do what you feel comfortable with. But if you need to take a few long, slow, deep breaths in between each of the breath holds, then that's fine. So we're always getting the practice to meet us where we are at, not terrorizing us, because this is a really strong practice. And if we don't start slowly, then it can be too much for the ego, too much change. And it's like, no, I'm not ready to let go of all this stuff. I'm just not going to do it. And when you're ready, inhale up to center, lift milliband, squeeze rectum, sex organ, navel, push the tongue to the roof of the mouth, eyes focused at the brow. And exhale, relax the breath, relax yourself. Take some long, slow, deep breaths. And let's just do some side bends. Fingers in front of the shoulders, thumbs behind. Inhale, bending to the left. Exhale, right. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Nice, deep, powerful breaths. Inhale deeply up to center. And exhale and relax. the next meditation that we are doing is called Indra-Nitri, which is really wonderful to help us come into or realize this state of non-duality, where we're not this separate ego hustling and moving through our day. There's this oneness to our being. We all have the same shared being, and that our innate being is this unconditional happiness and joy. Now, this mantra, I've put it in the chat, is very, very powerful, and it puts you in a manifesting mode. So make sure whatever words you say for the rest of the day are ones to bring in your highest timeline, and to not be not talking about scarcity or negative things about negative people or any people or yourself. So this is really going to amplify your words. So it's very important to chant it with reverence. And they say that this meditation helps every pore in your being become an all-seeing eye, and it removes all obstacles. So everything vibrates in the universe, and we're either vibrating in harmony with the universe, or we're in disharmony, which we really notice because we don't feel good, things don't work out for us, and life just kind of sucks and feels really hard. And so we vibrate through what we say, what we eat, what we feel, what we speak, our emotions. So this is a really wonderful one for clearing up all that negativity. But the reason that we're doing it today is just that it really helps to bring you into this stillness, or rather, I have to be very careful with my language. So rather than bringing us into the stillness, it reminds us that we're already still, that we never left. That stillness is always there, but it seems like it goes because the mind can take us off in all kinds of drama and emotion and commotion. So you're going to be holding on to your knees, and the mantra, very important as well that you chant this one correctly and precisely. So it's Ek Onkar Sat Gur Prasad, Sat Gur Prasad, Ek Onkar. So the eyes are going to be closed or 1/10 open, which means you're just letting a little bit of light in. And really be aware of how the tongue is moving and any sensations from the tongue. Your chest is slightly lifted, just a tiny little bit. And so when we're chanting Ek Ong, you're engaging your stomach muscles, the navel. So Ek Ong, and it's a little snap on that Ek Ong. And then Ka, you relax the navel. And then Sat Gur, you're lifting up the diaphragm. So by the solar plexus underneath the ribs, you're lifting that up and sucking it up. And then Prasad, you are relaxing it. So if that all feels too much, just chant the mantra, that's fine. This next one, it generates a lot of heat in the body. Good heat though, heat to transform and to burn up things that aren't serving you, rather than inflammation and stress and anger. And so last time, so Ek Ong, you're engaging the navel. Ka, you're relaxing it. Sat Gur, you're lifting up the diaphragm and the solar plexus area, up and back towards the spine and the ribs. And then Prasad, you're relaxing it. And we have a beautiful mantra by Sajja Singh. And just relax. All meditation should be done in a state of relaxation and ease. Okay.
Prasad.
Inhale deeply and exhale, relax the breath. Just resting for a moment in the silence. Resting in the silence as the silence. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Well done. So just make circles with your hands and your feet. Give yourself a little shake. Shake your hands, shake your legs. Do some shoulder circles. Move your neck. For the non-meditation, so we don't want meditation to be an activity that we start and finish. It's more meditation is what we are. I'm just going to do a little breath, very short one, to help open up the 10th gate, your bliss center. So it's easier to connect to your inner wisdom. And it's also really wonderful for the vagus nerve, many other things. So we're just going to have our hands in Gya Mudra, index fingertip touching the thumb tip. And you're going to inhale through the nose into the belly. Belly comes out on the inhale. And then pucker the lips. If you can whistle, exhale on the whistle. if you are one of those amazing people that can whistle with your tongue, don't do that. We're just whistling with our lips. This also helps the vagus nerve. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling on a whistle. And if you can't whistle, that's fine. Just exhale through puckered lips. And your eyes, they're closed, but they're looking up and out the crown of the head to help activate that bliss center. Relaxing the breath, relaxing the hands, and just continuing to rest in the stillness as the stillness. And so the more that you come into harmony, you'll find it that things like certain ADHD patterns, like rejection sensitivity disorder or anxiety, or feel a flutter, that they won't have anywhere to land. There's nothing for them to attach to. There's just this stillness. So they are arising from the stillness and then can just dissolve back into the stillness. And so that burnout feeling, if we've been caught up in the rat race, as soon as we start letting this silence come into the foreground of our experience, we'll find that our business, instead of it taking everything, or your career, and depleting you, it starts to nourish you and support you and give back. It's not a one-way street. So there's just this noticing of the stillness, just like the blue sky is always there, so is the stillness. And those grey clouds, so the clouds of the mind, they never stay there, they always move on. And they might give the illusion that the sky is grey, or it might be stormy and angry or heavy. That bright luminosity of the sun and that clarity of the blue sky is always there. And so this seeking and searching of the stillness and the happiness, looking outside ourselves, takes us further away from it. And this trying to be peaceful and trying to be happy, all those mindset techniques, keep us in a state of doing rather than being. So all that noise and that overwhelm arises from the stillness, so it can dissolve back into the stillness. Because there's this oneness in the universe, the chaos is the stillness. It's all the same thing. So this veil, the illusion of a veil that keeps us separate from our innate being, that veil is part of the oneness as well. And your body, your whole being knows how to return back to this stillness. Inviting yourself to sink deeper into just resting, into the stillness. So noticing if there's any little flutters from the mind, everything is arising from the stillness and dissolves back into the stillness. And it's not that the stillness is the absence of movement or sound or activity. It's all one. So this stillness is like the groundless ground of being from which everything is arising. The more you listen to this stillness, you'll notice different qualities. Sometimes it's empty and like a void. And it's not that it's dark, but it seems like there's an absence of light. Noticing that sometimes the stillness is full of vitality, and that full unlimited potential energy. Asking yourself, is there any part of me that's resisting sinking deeper into the silence, into the truth of my being? Am I open to releasing that? Going deeper into this absolute resting. Noticing there's like a intimacy with this stillness. There's no gap. There's no space between you and the stillness. And your golden age timeline, your highest timeline, is born from the remembrance in all your cells of this shared silence that we all have, this oneness of being. And noticing or imagining this silence is just feeling that it vibrates at love. As you notice the quality of love, notice that there's this warm, heart-filled presence. Beginning to breathe yourself back into your body. Breathing into your belly. Inhaling down to your feet. Inhaling into the earth. Inhaling into your Earth Star chakra below your feet. And just making some little shoulder rolls, opening, closing your hands, and bringing yourself back. Beautiful. So, well done for showing up for yourselves. We're not going to do the satnams because they feel really loud. We'll just say one satnam. Hopefully you can rest in the silence a little bit more. If you have to go about your day, you might want to start shaking and stamp your feet and make sure you are grounded, not feeling a little bit drunk from these meditations, especially if you have to operate heavy machinery. So, sending you so much love and blessings and light. May your growth be blissful and peaceful. And I look forward to connecting with you soon. Satnam.